He shaved off his years-old beard. He then slicked his hair back with toilet water into a neat pompadour. Next, he took out his hidden prison guard uniform. Right away, he looked like a sharp, professional corrections officer. This bizarre trick shocked the fellow inmate beside him. As he brushed past a guard, he stole the guard's access card. Neil walked out of the prison calmly and freely. Yet just before he gained full freedom, a new prison guard stopped him. The air turned completely tense. Luckily, the new guard knew almost none of his colleagues. After a brief stare, he waved Neil through. Neil, without any trouble, stepped out of the 4-year prison cell. But instead of running away after regaining freedom, he went to a street stall and bought a yellow work uniform for a few dollars. He then waited in the airport parking lot. He had no plan to flee by plane. Instead, he targeted a sports car, heading for the airport terminal. Once the car fully stopped, he stepped up at once, pretending to be a valet. The owner handed him the car key in a tip out of habit. One minute Neil was a prisoner, the next he drove the sports car into the busy city streets. News of Neil's jailbreak soon reached FBI agent Burke. It gave him an even worse headache. He knew how cunning Neil was. It had taken him 5 full years to catch Neil before. As Neil's most familiar rival, Burke was assigned to hunt him down again. Yet he felt extremely confused. Neil was close to release, but he chose to escape. Neil carved many marks on the wall every day, showing he was eager for his release. Burke immediately concluded an emergency must have caused Neil's last-minute escape. After checking the visitation footage, Burke found that Neil's girlfriend Kate visited weekly, but she never came again after their last meeting. Since the footage had no sound, Burke read their conversation through lip reading. Their final goodbye made Burke realize Kate held the key. He was right. When Burke's team surrounded Kate's apartment, the genius who pulled off a perfect jailbreak sat lonely on the floor, looking abandoned. He risked everything for love, only to find the place empty. Burke's guess was correct. Neil escaped solely for his girlfriend, but he was already too late. Compared with returning to prison, Neil cared far more about losing her. Just as he prepared to surrender, his eyes locked on a tiny metal thread on Burke's shoulder. As a top master of forgery, Neil recognized the thread instantly. He told Burke it was the security thread from the new Canadian $100 bill. This discovery changed his fate completely. Burke ignored it at first, but reports soon proved Neil was right. The ordinary bank robbery suddenly became an international case. It turned out Burke had been tricked by a criminal codenamed the Dutchman. The man robbed the bank safe and changed the password after the heist. Professional lockpickers spent hours and finally cracked the password, 324. Right before the safe opened, Burke sensed something wrong, but it was too late. A huge explosion destroyed all evidence completely. On a phone keypad, 324 spells, FBI. It was a blatant mockery of federal agents. They had all been fooled by the thief. While Burke regretted the lost evidence, Neil spotted a critical flaw. Burke rushed back to the prison, and Neil had long expected his visit. He offered to help catch the Dutchman, for he knew the forger's methods well. His condition: be bailed out as an FBI special consultant. Burke refused the offer instinctively, fully aware of Neil's cunning nature. Back in his cell, Neil stared at the wall marks, realizing he would stay in prison for another 4 years, with no way to contact his girlfriend. Despair drove him to collapse. Meanwhile, Burke returned home and shared his confusion with his wife. He still believed Neil's escape was more than just for love, and there was a hidden plot. But his wife asked him, "Wouldn't you escape prison for me if you were him?" The question made Burke ponder. Perhaps Neil's motive was far simpler than he thought. The next day, Neil was released on bail, wearing an electronic ankle monitor. His movement was limited to a 2-mile radius. The alarm would trigger once he crossed the line. Due to limited funding, Neil was placed in a dirty, rundown